Men over 70, listen closely. If you wake up in the morning and your manhood feels unresponsive, if that natural power you once relied on seems to have faded, I want you to know it's not because you are too old. Here's the truth. Your body is not broken. Your erections have not disappeared forever. They have only grown quiet, and with the right approach, they can come back to life again. I'm Dr. James Porter, a urologist with more than 40 years of experience helping men restore vitality, intimacy, and confidence. Over the decades, I have seen thousands of men in their 50s and 80 seconds reclaim what they thought was gone, not with dangerous drugs or surgery, but with their own breath, their own hands, and just a few minutes of simple daily practice. Here's the surprising fact. Most men believe age permanently takes away their erections, but science and real-life results show the opposite. Deep inside, your nerves, your blood vessels, and your manhood are still capable. The secret is not found in a pill, not in a pump, but in 3 powerful pressure points on your body. Think of them as hidden switches. Press them in the right way, and your mornings can change dramatically. That is my promise to you today. By learning these 3 points and combining them with easy daily habits, you can bring back blood flow, sensitivity, and natural morning strength without embarrassment, without dependency, and without fear. And stay with me, because in just a moment, I'll show you each point, explain how to find them, and share the daily habits that make them work for life. Before we start, take a second to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss another important tip for men over 70. And if what I am saying speaks to you, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're here. If not, type 0 so I know where I can improve these lessons for you. Now let's begin with the first and most important truth. Erections do not vanish simply because of age. What really happens is that your body's natural pathways for blood and nerve signals become quiet. Once you understand this, everything starts to change. The truth about aging and erections, this is something I wish every man over 60 could hear directly from his doctor. Losing morning erections does not mean you are broken, damaged, or beyond repair. It doesn't mean your manhood has abandoned you. What's really happening is much simpler and much more hopeful. Your body still remembers how to respond. Your nerves are still alive. Your blood vessels are still capable. Your manhood is still there waiting. Over the years, the signals just became weaker. The switches that once worked instantly are now resting. I've spoken to countless men who lower their voices and ask me, "Doc, what's wrong with me? I used to wake up strong, but now, nothing," and I always look them straight in the eye and tell them, nothing is wrong with you. Your body simply needs to be reminded of what it already knows. Aging is not the same as losing. Getting older does not erase your ability. It just makes the signals easier to forget. It's like having a room in your house you haven't used in years. The power is still there. The lights still work. But because you haven't flipped the switch, the room stays dark. Erections work the same way. The current is still inside you, you just haven't turned it back on. I'll never forget Harold, a 64-year-old man who came to me with tears in his eyes. He said, "Doc, I don't care about sex anymore. I just want to wake up one morning and feel alive again." That hit me hard, because it showed what men truly want, not just an erection, but the dignity, energy, and confidence that come with it. After just a few weeks of practicing what I'll teach you, Harold called me and said, "This morning, for the first time in 20 years, I felt like myself again." That's the truth about aging and erections. They don't vanish because you're too old. They fade because you stop sending the signals. But here's the good news. Those signals can be reawakened. They're still inside you, waiting for the right touch and the right habits. And now, let's move into the 3 hidden points on your body that act as those switches. The first point, just above the pubic bone. The first point I want to show you lies just above your pubic bone, right where your belly meets your pelvis. Most men never pay attention to this area, but it's actually one of the key control centers for male vitality. When I press this area gently with a patient, I often see their eyes widen because something stirs that they thought was gone. At first, it feels like a faint hum of energy, but soon, it grows into warmth, better circulation, and eventually, a natural response that no pill can copy. I remember Walter, age 57, who came to me feeling defeated. He said, "Doc, I think I've lost it. I haven't woken up strong in years." I guided his hand to that spot above his pubic bone and showed him how to breathe slowly into it, applying gentle pressure just enough to be present, not forceful. Within minutes, he felt warmth, his face lit up, and for the first time during our session, he smiled. 2 weeks later, Waldo returned and told me, every morning, I feel something stirring again. I thought it was gone, but it's coming back. That's the power of this point. Beneath it run vital blood vessels and nerves that supply your lower organs. Over time, if you ignore them, signals weaken and circulation slows. By stimulating this spot, you remind your body to send blood and energy where it's needed. It's like knocking on a door that's been closed for too long. Once you knock, the pathways open again. The second point, the perineum between anus and scrotum. The second point is in a place most men never think about, the soft space between your anus and scrotum, known as the perineum. In Eastern medicine, it has been recognized for thousands of years, but in Western medicine, it's barely mentioned. And that's unfortunate, because it's one of the most powerful switches for blood flow and sensitivity. I once worked with Thomas, a 71-year-old Marine veteran. He told me, "Doc, it's like the lights went out down there. I don't feel anything anymore." I taught him how to sit on a rolled towel for gentle pressure on the perineum while breathing deeply. Days later, he called me and said, "Doc, something's happening. I feel a faint pulse again. I feel alive." Weeks later, his natural strength began returning. Why does this work? Because the perineum acts like a valve. When it's tight and ignored, circulation slows, nerve signals weaken, and the body forgets how to respond. But when you stimulate it, the valve opens, blood moves freely, and nerve pathways reconnect. The third point, the inner thigh line femoral pathway. The third point is even more overlooked. It lies along the crease of your inner thigh, right where the thigh meets your lower abdomen. Beneath this line run the femoral artery and nerve, two of the main highways carrying blood and sensation to your manhood. If these pathways are tight or blocked, erections lose strength and sensitivity. But when you reawaken them, everything changes. One patient, Earl, a 58-year-old truck driver, told me, "Doc, I never thought my thighs had anything to do with what happens in the bedroom." I showed him how to gently press along that crease, breathing deeply. At first, he thought it was strange, but within a week, he noticed warmth returning. By the second week, he was waking up with strength he hadn't felt in years. What struck me most was when he said, "Doc, I don't just feel more in my body. I feel more like a man again."